Welcome to Business Q&A. Well, South Africa's public and private service delivery standards continue to lag behind other international players. I'm talking to Sacha Sorrell, who's the CEO of Real Consulting. We've been chatting about how companies can harness performance to boost the bottom line. Sacha, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Let's first take a look at the link between service and the bottom line. How tangible is it? In other words, what I'm asking there is, does always an improved level of service equal a better performance for the bottom line?
I think it does. I think the research shows that. If you look at the leading organizations, they invest a huge amount into service delivery, always also assessing that, performance managing service delivery. And if you look at any leading organization, whether it's a Microsoft or Walt Disney, any company, any industry who are leaders, they put a lot of emphasis in training, making sure the service delivery is superb, that the experience for the customer is enlightening. It's a very enjoyable experience.
But hasn't this sort of level of service become something that consumers expect anyway, or is that the danger that companies run in not attending to the matter?
Yeah, I mean, customers today, the market's so competitive, customers are expecting excellent service. So if they're not getting it, they can go elsewhere, they'll look around, they'll choose another competitor. So I think it's absolutely critical that organizations are very focused on service, ensuring they're understanding the needs of the customer, understanding the needs of what they're wanting, their wants, their goals, and ensuring they're meeting those needs. And if they don't, they'll lose the customer.
Now you're saying that performance management systems is one way of ensuring that these levels of service are met.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anything you want to see your staff delivering on, for example, customer service or wherever it may be, or sales, you have to measure. So there's a principle: what you don't measure, you can't manage. So performance management is critical there. So for example, if I've just recently come back from the US, if you go to the shops there in New York, the service delivery in most of the shops are superb. You go in there, the experience is you're looked after, they're attentive to you, etc. And what I actually did some work there, and I found that what they do there, they actually assess the behaviors they're looking for from the staff, even in the retail, for example, in the retail industry. So any behavior they're looking for, whether it's even greeting the customer, connecting with the customer, they actually measure that. And it can be done whether it's weekly or monthly or sometimes even daily, depending on what area of the job. But measuring the performance is critical.
When you say that, I mean, it just highlights how far behind or how we're lagging here in South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think people sometimes give that feedback in certain shops. In South Africa, you don't always get the customer service compared to, say, in America or the UK or other first world countries. But we're a developing country, and I think there's huge opportunities here. And the leading companies in South Africa are implementing those performance management systems and seeing the results. And it can give you such a huge differentiator if you are bringing that customer service to your organization.
Do you have any practical examples that you can give us where you've implemented such systems in companies and the results have been clear to the bottom line?
Absolutely. I mean, we work with a few blue chip companies, mid-sized companies and small companies. We work with over 300 companies, and over 90% of the companies who've implemented these systems have reported a huge transformation on their bottom line. And the most important thing is when you implement performance management, you're assessing what's unacceptable, what's acceptable, what's good, and what's excellent for every single deliverable, whether that's in customer service or sales or whatever area. And what it does is it gets rid of the wrong people. So especially in this market, we're going through a recession, hopefully coming out of a recession. But right now, a lot of companies are cutting costs, and one of the best ways of doing that is through performance management. And at the same time, what it does is the performers, the ones who are delivering, they need to be incentivized. And that's really the essence of performance management. It's incentivizing the people who deliver and holding accountable and reprimanding the people who are not delivering. And what it does is it can reduce its costs because you need to get rid of the wrong people. And General Electric, Jack Welch was very famous for that, getting rid of the bottom 10% of his company. And at the same time, the performers get rewarded and are motivated to strive for higher levels of performance. So any leading company, I think it's critical to implement.
All right, we're running out of time, but let me ask you two very questions. Why do you think it is that we lag here in South Africa as far as performance management systems go? Surely it can't be something like cost.
I think a lot of organizations here are not aware of the impact of performance management. They're not implementing it, or if they do implement it, it's not implemented effectively. It can be overcomplicated. And I think also, like today, if you look at the leading companies, they use often a balanced scorecard methodology. It's something that we use, where you're not only measuring financial measures, you're also measuring customer measures, which is linked to the customer service. as well as systems and professional development. So if you're only measuring financial measures and you're not measuring customer measures linked to the customer service, then you're not going to get the result. So it's important to have a balanced scorecard and measure all the different areas.
Which is linked properly throughout the whole organization.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. We'll leave it there for now. That is Sacha Sorrell, who's the CEO of Real Consulting, and that is your Business Q&A. Thanks for watching.